You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith Stewardship and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. Each week, we break down the world of church insurance into clear, practical steps so you can protect your ministry with confidence. Chances are, sometime in the last year, you got a letter or an email saying your personal information had been exposed in a data breach. Maybe it came from a big retailer or a credit card company. But here's the shift we're seeing now. Hackers are going after smaller organizations, including churches. In fact, nearly half of all cyber attacks in 2024 were aimed at small businesses. And in the eyes of a hacker, a church fits the profile perfectly. You collect member lists, donation records, and staff information, but often without the same cybersecurity systems that big corporations have in place. That makes churches easy targets. Think about how much of your ministry now runs online. Giving platforms, member databases, email newsletters, event registrations. If one of those systems is hacked, your church could be looking at thousands of dollars in costs, weeks of disruption, and maybe even a serious hit to the trust of your congregation. And here's the kicker. Your general liability insurance almost never covers cyber risks, which means without cyber liability coverage, your church is on its own if an attack happens. That's where cyber liability insurance steps in. Here's what it can do for your church. Data breach costs, covering the expense of notifying members, offering credit monitoring and handling legal fees if personal data is exposed. Ransomware attacks, helping your church recover locked files and systems, sometimes even negotiating with hackers so you don't have to. Reputation management, funding, PR efforts to rebuild trust with your congregation after an incident. Third-party vendor issues, protecting your church if a system you rely on, like your giving platform or email provider, gets hacked and impacts you. It's not just about paying bills. It's about keeping your ministry running when the unexpected happens online. Of course, prevention matters too. Training staff and volunteers to spot phishing emails, choosing secure tools, and running risk assessments can lower your chances of being attacked. But even with strong practices, no church is immune. That's why having a cyber liability policy in place is so critical in 2025. So let me ask, if a hacker targeted your church tomorrow, would you have coverage or would you be on your own? Now's the time to find out. Visit insurancefortexans.com to connect with us and see how cyber liability can fit into your church's protection plan. And if you'd like a deeper guide to eliminating the guesswork from church insurance, grab a copy of my book, The Promise of Certainty, at thepromiseofcertainty.com. Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. I'm Ron Wadley, reminding you that protecting your church isn't just about buildings and budgets. It's about guarding your people, your reputation, and your mission in every way possible.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.